Hello, everyone. It's Dr. Jill here for another Author in the Spotlight series. And today I'm joined by Katie. Katie is one of the authors on my current book, which is actually for women in business. So, Katie, can you please introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. My name is Katie Jordan. I am the founder of Butterfly Tribe Blueprint, and that was founded on I found myself in my 40s, single, divorced, single parent, and I was not ready for that. And that really sent me into a place where I had to either dive into, we're going to have to start again. I have a little helper that all of a sudden.
All right, everyone. Sorry about that little intermission. We all have kiddos running around. So we are back. Katie was just introducing herself and telling us about her business. So, Katie, do you want to tell us about your business?
So when I found myself single mom, divorced in my 40s, I was like overwhelmed. And I knew at that point in my life, I had two choices. I could sit and just stay where I was at, or I could move forward and figure out what was going to be the best life for me and my daughter. And through that, I was given many different opportunities. Many people were brought into my life that kind of made all of those pieces come together. And it was like something that has come very natural to me is I've always been a little helper bee my whole life. And I've really found that coaching was what I wanted to do. I wanted to help women live the lives that they dream of, and sometimes the lives that they forget because life has a tendency, like we just saw, to throw curveballs at us, put us in this cocoon. Society says you have to be like this. You can't, venture out of what they say. And when I say they, it's society. You're in a cocoon. Well, I want to help women break out of that cocoon, come together in a kaleidoscope, because that's what a group of butterflies is called. Support each other and spread your wings and fly.
I love that. And that's such a great visual too. Um, Shoot, I was going to ask you something. Oh, I know when we've chatted about your program, part of the program is, working on boundaries, right? And setting boundaries. And I think for women, that's super important. So, can you tell us within your program, what are some of the goals for the women going through your coaching program?
So we tend to, or I feel like I personally was much later in life when I figured out, I don't have really strong boundaries. And not having strong boundaries kind of put me in this like wishy washy ocean wave of I would say yes to everything, but I never was really, I didn't say no because of, I was afraid of what people would think. And I didn't want to disappoint anyone.
Yeah.
But once I realized having a boundary, like even with yourself, it takes your power back. When you learn to say no to those things that aren't aligned with who you are or what makes you happy, that is huge.
Yeah.
I remember being in a therapy session once, and my therapist goes, it's kind of like putting up a fence. You put up one piece at a time, and then if you are giving explanations behind your no, if you can't just say no, it's like taking down the fence again.
Mm-hmm.
And you can just let your no be no. And that was super hard for me because every time I would say no, I always felt like I owed an explanation.
Yes. You feel rude.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that was even my own family. And it was like, no, if I don't want to do holidays like they've always been done,
Mhm.
or I have something else going on. It is okay to say no. And I think that is something that is so hard for us as
Yep.
women to really embrace, because we've been taught we have to be everything for everyone, whether it's, the perfect mom, the perfect employee, the perfect wife, whatever that looks like. But let me tell you, I always joke now that I'm a reforming people pleaser, because I have learned so much about myself through this journey. And I want to help empower other women to, whether it is setting those boundaries because you have no boundaries,
Mhm.
or you have kind of like moving boundaries, which if you have those, then you're kind of always chasing something. You
Yep.
don't have that like definitive, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to allow somebody to treat me that way, or I'm not going to be a part of whatever, because that's not true to me.
Mhm.
Why put yourself in a situation where you are not going to be true to yourself? But the key to that is you also have to know yourself.
That's right.
And I didn't do that. And now it's a pretty amazing feeling when you know who you are,
Mm.
and those boundaries are really in place. Sometimes you have to remind yourself of them, but it really is a good feeling, and it gives you more power and energy to do the things that you want.
Yeah, absolutely. For the ladies that you want to work with and help, kind of what is your ideal client look like?
A working mom or
Mhm.
a single woman who feels overwhelmed by maybe the career that they're in. They don't feel like they have time to figure out what really makes them happy because they're so busy giving
Mhm.
to everyone else.
Yep.
You know, taking their power back through boundaries, looking at a time assessment, seeing where your time goes, being able to have some of that time back to spend with your family, go on vacations, do those things that are happy. We're about to get a visitor again.
All right, we are back again, and we are going to finish off this interview by having Katie just tell us a little bit about what some of the results are that you've seen with your current clients.
Um, so some of the results that my current clients have achieved is more clarity around what their dream life looks like. Because, like I said previously, we lose sight of what that dream is because life happens and we allow it to happen and we don't keep track of that. So, gaining more clarity around your dream life and having more time because you've learned to kind of go back and do a time assessment
Mhm.
and find out where your priorities really lie. Because when you go back and figure out where you're spending all your time and then you wonder why you don't have time, well, binge watching Netflix is not going to help you achieve your goals.
Yeah.
That's why it always makes me chuckle. You can still have some, but it's not all night, every night kind
Yes.
of things.
Yeah.
Um, the other part, and some of the biggest changes we've seen, is women who have started to implement boundaries, not only with themselves, with the people around them, and their jobs. That's a huge one.
Mhm.
I know that I was guilty of that in corporate life, taking the work home.
Yep.
You have to be able to say, hey, I'm off at a such and such time. I don't need to be checking my emails. There is a process set in place if someone needs help of how they do things. So some of my women are seeing um, amazing things happen with their time management, their boundaries, and then that allowing them to start to step in and kind of start to spread their wings
Mm-hmm.
and fly. So
Yeah.
it's been an amazing journey to see that happen and watch, be a part of that continuing to happen. And I have found that as I help other women, like it also gives me more of that lift and be part of that kaleidoscope as well.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Is there anything else that you want to share about yourself or your business before we hop off?
Right now, it's such an exciting time because I never thought I would be growing a business, working full time, and juggling motherhood by myself. But if that is something that you want to do and work towards that dream life, it is achievable.
Mhm. Love that. That's perfect. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us and for your little for joining us for a few seconds. I hope you guys have a good day and we will chat soon.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye.
Bye.